They've got to exercise the fun muscle.
This is where the gaslighting gets really good.
My nickname around these parts is Dead Weight.
I hadn't been considering scissor.
I'm prepared to travel in time.
We were deep into an Adam Sandler rabbit hole on this podcast. How did that happen? A lifetime of Hallmark.
Well, hello, everybody. It is your favorite day of the week. It is time for another episode of A Lifetime of Hallmark, where we talk about your favorite movies on Lifetime and the Hallmark channel and try to make sense of them. I'm Les Kirkendall Barrett. Hello, Jason Bowers.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett.
And hello, Kurt Fitzpatrick.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett, and hello, Jason Bowers.
Well, we're back. We took a little hiatus, but now we're back and better than ever. We're ready to talk.
We're like a Hallmark heroine this summer because we're all busy.
Yes, very busy.
Well, I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. Not to bring the room down.
No, but you were busy, like getting better.
I was.
Right.
I was getting what's called CAR T-cell therapy. I've talked about this in previous shows, but I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and with the CAR T-cell therapy, they took T-cells out of me. They sent them to California, just like the Beverly Hillbillies, and they got re-engineered as super cells, got sent back and got infused in me, and now the T-cells are fighting away, and I feel better than ever.
Yeah. And after
good.
going through that harrowing process, Les said, "You know what, Kurt? You need to watch a Hallmark movie to feel better."
Right. I know. There were people who were trying to give me work. Somebody said, "I hope you're writing scripts or you're in the hospital." Like, yeah, let me wait till you're in the hospital. I'll give you some work to do.
Wait, someone expected you to be writing scripts.
Yeah. You better be working on some scripts. Oh, yeah? Thanks for giving me stuff to do.
Maybe they meant you were supposed to steal a pharmacist's notepad and write yourself prescriptions for like Vicodin.
Oh, I didn't think about it. Maybe that's what they meant.
Write some scripts for yourself.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's a different kind of script.
There you go. Okay, I have a question for you guys.
Yes.
Okay, so I got another text from my sister.
Okay.
Correcting me on something. But
did she ever say anything nice? Like just write to you and say, "Good job with the show," or
well, she has critiques, but over our hiatus though, I have been getting messages and more than one person has said they're obsessed with our show. So
good.
Thank you.
Good. Yeah, thank you. Welcome, new listeners.
Did we talk about a dead baby at some point?
I mean, that's likely.
Is there one in your closet that you recently found? Because what exactly was the context?
There was a movie where it was some baby abduction movie, and there may have been a dead baby or something in that one too. Because a lot of the Lifetime movies, there's like a woman who loses her baby and then tries to like infiltrate another family to steal their baby.
Because my sister was sending me like a correction about a baby, and I was like, and I was trying to remember. I'm like, I was like, when did we talk about a dead baby?
I don't remember.
This is just advice for anybody that's listening to our show that wants to give feedback on a previous episode. At least let us know what movie we're talking about so we can reference it or have context to reference it.
I don't remember baby dying.
Yes. So Anita, if you can specify, that would be great.
Yeah.
What was her criticism of the?
Let me find it.
Okay.
Boy,
because
dead baby can't get any rest here. Jeez.
Yeah, because I was like, well, I know it wasn't a Hallmark because babies don't die.
No, definitely not.
They multiply.
Babies don't die on Hallmark movies.
No.
So let's see. Anita. All right. Yeah. So here we go. So here it is. So more info for your podcast questions. They dress the dead baby up and make the mom and dad hold it. so they know it's really dead.
Wow, I don't know what she's talking about.
Ooh.
So,
you sure she's talking about the show? Or?
Oh, that has to be a Lifetime movie. There was probably a Lifetime movie where like some baby was stolen and they lied to the mom and said the baby died, and we were probably questioning like, wouldn't like the parents see the baby? It was probably something like that.
I just
this text was sent.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I hope this is about the show, and she's not like confessing a crime to you, and we're now like announcing it on the air here.
Yeah.
Right. This was sent Friday, June 18th.
Okay.
At 3:02 p.m. And it started more info for your podcast questions. So
okay.
I guess
and we're recording this a week later, so she's probably forgotten why she even sent that to you.
Right.
We're never going to get to the bottom of this. Anita needs to be on the show. Let's have her on.
Right.
By the way, I think we should take partial responsibility for the Eric Roberts renaissance that's been going on. We've been talking up Eric Roberts the last year or so, and the man is on fire. He's on. He was cast in what was that show on HBO? The Gemstones.
Oh, Righteous Gemstones. Yeah.
Righteous Gemstones. He's in that, and he's going to be in the next movie directed by the director of La La Land.
Okay.
Oh,
but I mean,
Eric.
In fairness, like how can there be a renaissance when he's never gone away? It's not like Eric Roberts hadn't worked for a long time and all of a sudden is working again. Like he has been working an obscene amount.
Yeah, but this is like an A-list. He's now doing A-list stuff.
He's been doing it all. He has a weird way of being able to do the most lowbrow schlock and the most highbrow stuff at the same time.
It's been a while since he's done some A-list stuff though, and this is the second project that we've heard about.
And doesn't he do like 2 or 3 movies at a time?
Yeah. But he maybe got a new agent who's getting him some like really really hot stuff. I don't know.
Maybe they watched him on Stalked by My Doctor.
Maybe they listened to the podcast.
Heard the show. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. I think so. I think they heard the show. We keep talking about him.
No, I like Eric.
And people can cast us too if they'd like.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please. The more that I watch Eric Roberts and the more we talk about Eric Roberts, the more I actually like Eric Roberts.
Oh yeah, he's a fantastic actor when he's not phoning it in.
Oh no,
he's like, he's like, you want me to do your Lifetime movie? I'll do it. The
man loves to work.
Yes. Hardest. I was reading some article because of this podcast, I do read articles about him and Google him. Mm-hmm. And he was described as a journeyman actor.
I think he's better than that. Journeyman career kind of, but as an actor, he's above and beyond.
Well, speaking of above and beyond, Kurt, do you have any Blac Chyna news?
Doing a piece of China.
I'm talking China.
The Blac Chyna Report. Here's Kurt Fitzpatrick.
All right, this is from RadarOnline.com. Blac Chyna says, unaired Keeping Up with the Kardashians footage proves she didn't beat Rob Kardashian with a 6-foot metal pole. Blac Chyna is asking a judge to review video footage that she claims shows her ex, Rob Kardashian, without injuries days after he claimed she attacked him. According to court documents obtained by Radar, Chyna believes Rob's assault lawsuit against her should be dismissed before trial. She says the evidence makes it crystal clear that she didn't harm her baby daddy. In 2017, Rob and his sister Kylie Jenner slapped Chyna with a civil lawsuit. He accused his ex of assaulting him during an altercation on December 14th, 2016. The two had been living together at Kylie's home. Rob says during the incident, Chyna choked him with an iPhone cord and struck him in the face with a 6-foot metal pole. Rob believes Chyna should be ordered to pay him $700,000 in damages. Now, here's the breakdown. He says he is owed $5,000 for property damage, $62,852 for security costs, $100,000 for his pain and suffering, an additional $100,000 for emotional distress, and a whopping $500,000 for punitive damages. Chyna denies the assault. She claims Rob did not suffer any damages. The model told the court she believes he only brought the suit in retaliation for her suing him and his family. In a separate lawsuit, she accuses the Kardashian family of conspiring together to have her reality show, Blac Chyna, canceled by executives. Chyna's case is currently moving forward. In her new motion, Chyna says Rob's lawsuit should be dismissed completely for several reasons. She said during the discovery phase of the case, her lawyers obtained never-before footage from Keeping Up with the Kardashians. That's pretty much it. So she says he was seen with no marks, cuts, or bruises on his face or neck. She says he could not have been attacked with this 6-foot metal pole.
This is the first time I'm hearing about this. We've talked about the iPhone cord, but I don't remember hearing about him getting smacked with or her getting smacked with a pole.
It's new news.
And I'm also like, imagine being the judge in this case, and you, like, as part of your job as a servant of the law, or what did they call it? Whatever. You're overseeing this court. You have to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians footage,
right?
And able to be able to rule in this case.
And the judge is like, I hate my life.
I went to law school for all this, Yeah, right? I don't know. I'm reluctant to make jokes about a judge because I don't know. I never know what's going to bite me in the ass.
I'm not making jokes about the judge. I'm making jokes about the absurdity of, like, that's the judge's job on this case. Is like, I got to watch the Kardashians.
Why would they say that the family that's so proud that their son is a lawyer should maybe reconsider that if that's what their job is, watching? See, now I'm in trouble. I'm gonna be in front of that judge, and they're like, "Listen, I heard what you said."
Is it the judge is like 7 years of law school? Because isn't it 7 years?
No.
7 years. How long is law school?
It's like 3 years, I think.
Well, probably 4 years of college and 3 years of law school.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. So 7 years of school. I worked my ass off and worked myself up the ranks so I could be a judge. And this is the thanks I get. I have to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's why you did it right, Les. You skipped law school and just went straight to their shows. Yeah, just watching their shows.
You're basically a lawyer.
No.
You went to law school?
No. I have never, ever watched one episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Same.
Wow. Me, I have not as well. But I'm a little surprised.
And I never had any desire to watch that show ever.
Same. I
never watched it.
But this is where we're different, Les, because you and I agree on a lot of things in gay culture that we're supposed to, quote unquote, supposed to like as gay men. Like, we're not huge fans of drag shows. Or no, do you like drag shows? You'll go see drag. What was
I like drag.
Oh, it was Brokeback Mountain. Brokeback Mountain, you and I are like, I don't like it.
Yeah, you guys don't like that. You don't like Call Me By...
Call Me By Your Name, we did not like.
Call Me By Your Name.
Hated it.
You guys didn't like it. I
hated it. And Keeping Up with the Kardashians, like, I don't care about them. But you will watch Real Housewives, and I can't.
Yes.
Yes.
They say that movie Luca, the animated movie, they say that's similar to Call Me By Your Name.
Wait, what? When the
really?
Little boys turn into fish?
Wait, what?
I read.
Wait, what?
Little boys
And some people are saying that they're like the characters are gay. And I was reading this whole thing. It's like some people think Luke is gay, and some people think that the Falcon, the Falcon show, they people watch that. And think
isn't Loki bisexual or something? Isn't that what I'm hearing about that?
Is Loki?
Loki is bisexual.
Loki. I don't know.
I think that's what's going on with that show. Yeah.
I've been watching that as well. Yeah. Anyway,
but
it's kind of things I'm coming across.
Okay.
The thing that kind of got me about the Kardashian article, the Blac Chyna article, is the itemized list.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? Yeah.
Well, I think that's normal. Because if you're asking for damages, you've got to be able to assign a dollar amount to what you think the damages are. So you need to be able to list that out. And then the judge can always say, well, I don't feel like you deserve the 100,000 here, but you might get 50 for that, but you do get the full 100 over here.
I mean, $100,000 for emotional distress, and what with security? $62,852 for security costs. That's weird.
Well, if somebody feels in danger, they're going to have security guards with them. So I'm assuming what that probably is if Chyna's saying that Rob hit her, then she's also saying that I felt in danger, so I needed to hire extra security because I didn't want him to do it again.
No, this isn't her though. It's
no, it's him. It's him.
Oh, okay. Either way,
he believes that Blac Chyna should be paying all this money.
Okay, then the other way around, but same concept.
What's punitive damage?
Well,
or is that
like incidentals? Isn't that what that is?
I'm not sure.
I know. All I know.
We'll worry about it.
All I know is there. You know, we're talking. We're mulling over doing an episode on Clubhouse, and you know who's on Clubhouse. Blac Chyna.
She'll find us.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you know what? Wouldn't that be great if we do that? If we record on Clubhouse, Blac Chyna finds us and we bring her on stage and she clears this whole thing up for us. And it's like an exclusive.
Yeah, she's got a lot to clear up. Yeah.
Right. So
we do have to say rest in peace to Gavin McLeod, who we talked about very often, and the guy who played Herb on WKRP also passed away. Yeah.
Frank Tarlick.
What was his name?
Frank Bonner.
Frank Bonner.
Yeah.
We've
often talked about those people.
Rest in peace, Meryl. And
Meryl Stubing.
Captain Meryl Stubing.
Oh, his name was Merle?
Yeah, Merle, like Merle Haggard.
Oh, jeez.
Not like Meryl Streep, like Merle Haggard.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still a shock to me. I never knew this.
I like that this is the mind blown moment of our episode for you.
Wow.
And you know, Betty White is still kicking.
Yep.
Betty White's like, I'm outliving all of you bitches.
Have you checked Google?
Oh, don't be rude.
Betty White.
We would have gotten an alert on our phones. My phone would have caught fire from alerts if something happened to her.
No. We'd have breaking news. Mm-hmm. Well, good.
Oh my God.
Well, okay.
I'd be in West Hollywood on like Santa Monica Boulevard wearing black.
Oh yeah.
If you know that with Betty White, that's going to be a national day of mourning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But she's still kicking. And Betty White, if you want to come on the show, you're more than welcome.
Sure, she would love it. You know who I think we need to target to get on our show now is Anna Gasteyer and Rachel Dratch from SNL, because it was announced today that they are going to be doing, I don't remember if it's for Netflix or for somewhere else, they're going to be doing a parody of these kinds of movies that we watch.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Let's get them on the show.
Well, you know, Anna Gasteyer was on The Masked Singer.
I did not know that.
She was on The Masked Singer this past season.
Was she one of the judges?
No, she's one of the masked people.
Oh, okay.
And I'm saying this now, just so you guys know. Mm-hmm. In a couple of weeks, or actually in the month of July on Lifetime, they are showing a brand new movie, Meghan and Harry Escape from the Palace.
Wow.
And we will be watching.
She's a friend of the show.
And think of it, and this is before you were with us, Jason. We watched the Meghan and Harry movie.
I heard.
We live podcasted from the wedding at like 3 a.m.
We did, yeah. I had scones.
Yeah.
This was pre-pandemic. Mm-hmm. Things are different now.
Yeah,
way pre-pandemic.
So we're in. Yeah. We're invested. And the actor who plays Harry looks like Harry.
Is it the same people who were in there? No. Okay. They should use the same people. No. They should play themselves.
Actually, the woman who's playing Meghan, I think looks a lot like Zoe Kravitz, but it's not Zoe Kravitz.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's very pretty.
Okay.
Anywho.
Well, we'll watch it.
Let's do this. Let's get into this movie. What was it? You had me at Aloha.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Kurt. That didn't sound too good.
No.
I'm with you, Kurt. It was. I will say, out of the gate, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't even. It wasn't mediocre either.
No.
Yeah.
Mediocre is the high bar.
It wasn't mediocre.
Mediocre being the high bar didn't quite get there, but it wasn't awful.
This is another one of those movies where I actually liked the side characters.
I loved them. them.
They were weird.
Okay, so we have a montage of Hawaii.
Well, it's like the opening credits for like cheesy graphics for a travel show.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
The Expedition Channel.
And the host is named Todd Harper.
Mm-hmm.
With the worst Australian accent I have ever heard.
Yes. Yes. And so there's a promo, and it's almost one of the things about this movie is this movie was basically an ad for Hawaii.
Oh yeah,
pretty much. And we find out that Todd with the bad accent is a total diva. And so it's time for him to renegotiate his contract, and he's pissed because he wants more, but he's not getting more. And so we then meet Millie. We meet Millie, who's one of the side characters.
Yeah.
Millie. And she's talking to Paige, who is our very busy heroine, because remember, Hallmark heroines are always very busy. So Millie tells Paige that she's looking for an on-camera replacement, and she actually wants Paige to be the on-camera replacement. But this is the part where, in the Hallmark movie, the woman declares her through line. Paige says, "I am better behind the scenes."
It was such a weird thing that they had no options in terms of hiring a host for a travel show. Like, how were they not able to find somebody that wanted to do that would do it for less than Todd wanted?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you'd think they'd have a wide selection.
You would think that with all of the aspiring hosts in the world, that they would have stacks and stacks and stacks of resumes and headshots.
Right. Especially in this town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, there was nobody. And Millie's like, they've rejected almost everyone.
Yeah. It was like in Ghostbusters, where Ernie Hudson goes to get the job. And even though they've been on the cover of Time magazine or Newsweek, Ernie Hudson's the only one who comes in and he gets hired.
They should have hired Ernie Hudson to host this travel show. I would have watched that show.
Right? Yeah. Oh, that would have been a good show.
Yeah, that would have been great.
But with Ernie Hudson?
They ask him all these questions. And he says, look, I'll answer anything if they'll get me the job. And that's it. He's in. Pow.
Right.
And there he is. He's going to be hosting the Hawaii show.
But they couldn't get Ernie Hudson, but they could get Ben Burton. And Ben Burton is up for the job, and Paige is like, Ben Burton? You gotta be kidding.
Is Ben Burton the second understudy to Eddie Murphy?
I guess.
Because, the Ernie Hudson role in Ghostbusters was originally written for Eddie Murphy.
Oh, well,
really?
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was so good.
Yeah, but it was different. And I think when it was for Eddie Murphy, they had that character in more of the movie.
Okay.
I believe. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. If Eddie was in the movie, he would not be applying for the job. He'd already be.
Yeah, because Ernie Hudson comes in like halfway through the movie.
Well, also
like,
imagine that
right.
was pretty early in his career, and when they were writing that, he wasn't a star yet. He wasn't like the massive star that he became.
No, 84.
Oh, Eddie, you should have done Ghostbusters.
84, so it would have been after 48 Hours Trading Places.
It came out in 84.
Yeah. Okay.
Could you imagine Eddie Murphy in Ghostbusters?
Stranger things have happened. Yeah. Well, Belushi was supposed to be in it. Yeah.
As who? The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
No, as the Bill Murray role, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow. That would have been interesting too.
Mm-hmm. Would have been different.
Huh. Yeah. So I guess in the alternate universe, there's a Ghostbusters with
John Belushi
and Eddie Murphy.
That would have been pretty cool if everybody was in optimum health. Yeah.
Okay. So Paige is like, she's like, Ben Burton, he only jumps off of things. And then we see Ben Burton and he's getting ready to jump off of something.
Yeah.
So she was not wrong. And
he's with his partner, Luis, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Luis.
He's the camera guy.
And so from what I gather, basically for Ben Burton's show, the audience basically writes in and tells him what to do, and he does it.
Yeah. He's like travel guy, but like all this stuff is like extreme sports-ish.
Right.
His relationship with Luis was a little bit like this. Luis was at his beck and call. At one point, he's describing like his fantasy home, and he said, "And I'd have a little, there'd be a room upstairs for Luis." It was a little. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to judge anybody.
Yeah, we do. That's the whole point of what we're doing here. Judge them. What's going on, Kurt?
Right.
What's their story?
I don't know. Is Luis's bitch? It just seems, can Luis be his own man? Does Luis want to like live in a room?
Well, let's turn the tables. Maybe Ben is Luis's bitch. Like Ben is codependent and feels like he is nothing without Luis and wants Luis around all the time.
That's a good point.
Luis did run his life.
Yeah.
All right.
Luis did.
He needs Luis.
He does need Luis, as we find out.
He's the bitch. I'm glad I talked this out. Man, I feel jopey tonight. So, sorry.
So.
Okay.
So Paige is bitching. Paige is still bitching about them auditioning Ben. But Millie's like, well, if you're not going to audition, then what am I supposed to do? So we don't have a choice. So deal with it. But then we find out that Millie, I guess, is in trouble with HR because she is insensitive.
Never mind. She's in trouble because she peed in the water cooler.
Is this the scene where they were walking through the office?
Yeah.
Did you notice the bizarre as fuck extra work that happened at the end of this scene or in the middle of the scene? It was super front and center.
Yeah, there was something weird that happened.
Millie and Paige are like walking and talking through the office. It's like a big open concept office, and they're walking through it. And this guy, younger assistant type guy, hands Millie a coffee. And then as Millie and Paige walk towards the camera, the guy walks behind them and then high fives somebody else and keeps on walking. I just gave her a coffee.
Yeah, it wasn't like running after them with the coffee.
It was super distracting. I don't know why the editor left that take in. It served nothing to the story. It took away from the main action of the scene. Clearly that guy was joking around. They're like, oh, let's leave that in. It looks like a fun place to work.
Right. So and this is the part where Millie's talking about how she's in trouble with HR.
Why?
For being insensitive.
Jeez, I guess I'm in trouble with HR too.
And so then Millie's like, okay, so Paige, you've got to be there to audition Ben. Like you've got to be the co-host so he has someone to play off of. Mm-hmm. And so then we find out because Ben is on his way to the audition, and we find out that Ben used to work there, but he was fired. Also, but we don't know why he was fired.
I'm going to poke another hole in the logic of this movie. So they couldn't afford one person in Todd Harper. So they thought, let's hire two people because that will save us money.
Right.
Is the combined salaries is two people the same as Todd Harper's one salary?
I mean, how much are they paying Todd? Like,
Todd's a big star.
Is that fake Australian accent really that expensive?
Hey, man.
Right?
Crocodile Dundee movies, they cleaned up.
But that's a real Australian accent.
That's true. I wonder if he listened to like Australians, like he listened to like Olivia Newton-John, like giving like a acceptance speeches like over and over and over again. He kept like imitating her.
Right.
I just picture him listening to Crocodile Dundee and Yahoo Serious. Remember that movie?
Yeah, I do remember. There's a new Crocodile Dundee. It's like They Call Me Mr. Dundee, and I want to see it. It looks so dumb.
Yeah, it's on Amazon, right?
Yeah,
there's a reboot.
Well, no, it's like he's Paul Hogan. Like he plays himself.
Is it a movie or is it like a reality show?
No, it's a movie, and Chevy Chase is in it, and John Cleese, and
how old is he now?
New. Oh man, he like I think Paul Hogan's 80. He looks like he's like 200.
What's because it's the Australians are always in the sun. Like, oh,
I guess
he's probably really like 55.
Right?
No, I don't want to. I actually sat down to watch it. I'm going to watch this, but then I saw I had to pay for it. I was like, nah, that's all right.
Is he still married to Linda Kozlowski?
I don't know. I don't think she's in the movie, so maybe not.
Oh, see, now I want to Google.
I should watch it and give a report at our next show.
Yes, please do.
I do want to see it. I don't know. There's something weird about my taste.
Damn it.
What happened?
What?
Damn it, Kurt.
What?
You're making me Google.
Do we want to find out what the name of this movie is? I think it's called They Call Me Mr. Dundee. Let's see. Okay.
Damn it, Kurt. Okay.
Right.
So here we go.
The Very Excellent Mr. Dundee. That's the name of the movie. You can watch it for $6 on YouTube. There you go.
Oh,
oh my God, he's worth $28 million.
My Lord.
That's probably like property.
Paul Hogan posts angry note to homeless outside of his LA mansion.
Oh boy, he lives in LA?
In Venice.
All right. Oh, nice.
Wait, he lives in Venice and is bothered by the homeless problem? Like, you wouldn't move there if you had a problem with homeless people, because that's all that is in Venice.
Paul Hogan is seen on the day of his 81st birthday. That's October 9th.
That's not a knife. This is a knife. I remember that. It was such a clever scene, but they showed it over and over and over when that movie came out.
Yeah, for sure.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Because it's a simple little line that explains the premise of the movie immediately.
Yeah. I think we talked about this before. I think he owns that movie.
Yeah.
So like Paramount distributed it and he owned it. And that blows my mind.
Yeah.
He made a fortune.
Well, I just looked at a review and it said that movie, the excellent one,
yes, that's supposed to be
was unnecessary.
Well,
Paul Hogan and Linda Kozlowski got divorced in 2014.
Oh. So the movie was necessary to pay his alimony.
Right.
He should hook up with Betty White. They could be a power couple.
No, don't put her with Paul Hogan.
How dare you?
That's rude.
I want better for Betty White.
It is still Pride Month, Kurt.
White. Oh, by the way, now now we're talking about Paul Hogan. There was an interview one time, and they said, "So Paul," it was like a Barbara Walters thing, whatever, and she's like, "So Paul, you're talking about like in movies, people have age is kind of part. People have to be younger." And he goes, "Yeah, age and white," and she goes, "White? You say white?" Goes, no, white. Oh, wait. Oh, okay.
Oh, see, he would have been canceled.
Yeah, white. Anyway.
Oh, I can't believe that they broke up, Paul and Linda.
All right, let's move on from Paul Hogan.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that was a rabbit hole.
Back to our Hallmark couple.
Only 30% of our audience tune into the show to hear about Paul Hogan. They're all satisfied.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway,
thank you for listening.
So Paige actually wants Luis for the job.
Wait a minute. Louis
to be the cameraman for the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Paige wants to hire Luis without hiring Ben, and they come as a package deal.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So then Ben walks into Paige, and he's like, "Have we met?" And Paige is like, "No," but she's kind of sketchy about the no, which we'll find out about later. Which, when we found out what it was, I was like, "You gotta be kidding. That's no big deal." So anyway, of course, this is a Hallmark movie, so Ben and Paige have differences of opinion. So Paige is very structured and very by the book, and Ben is fly by the seat of his pants. And so they were arguing because Ben is like, we basically, on my show, we kind of have an idea of what we're going to do, but we just kind of go with whatever happens. Mm-hmm. So they're fighting, and Millie is like watching them fight because they're fighting on camera, and Millie is watching them and smiling. And so then Millie says, "The network wants both of you," and Paige is pissed.
Yeah, and I don't think they had a lot of chemistry, in my opinion.
No.
It was more like, they have playful banter. Like, they have boring host playful banter. They did that well together.
This is my problem. Right. I didn't think they had chemistry. And I thought they were, especially Paige seemed very unhappy.
Oh, she was like bitter this whole movie, pretty much.
Yeah.
The guy's kind of lost. It was a tragedy.
Every time Millie's trying to get Paige to host, she's like trying to talk her into it. And Paige is like, I used to host in the past, and you remember what happened. And they keep alluding to, you remember what happened, and we find out it has something to do with a goat. Okay. Because
she's like, you remember what happened? I'm thinking a death, an accident.
I didn't want to say what I was thinking.
Someone got maimed or something. Nope, it was a goat.
It was water,
and it wasn't even a bad goat.
I thought there was waterboarding or something horrible's going on.
Right?
No, it was like
because it was very ominous. It was very ominous when it's like, you remember what happened, and it was like dun dun dun.
And when we'll talk about it soon, but like when we find out what happened, the whole thing is like, wait, that went viral, really? And like people are still the people A, remembered that, and B, are still talking about it, really?
Right? Yeah. Oh, and so then Millie tells Paige, okay, so listen, because Paige, by the way, Paige had a project. She has a project that she wants to launch herself. And so Millie kind of blackmailed her in a way, because Millie's like, okay, so you do this project for a season, and then I'll help you get your project going. So Paige is like, okay. And, and then, so then Jason's right. Paige is like, what if what happened on camera happens again? Dun, dun, dun.
What happened?
So
nothing exciting.
No. So then Ben actually is watching on his phone. He's watching what happened to Paige, but we as the audience still don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But no, then we find out. He's watching it. He's laughing. So, okay, fasten your seatbelts, people, because this is just scandalous. Paige was chased.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to do a news sounder here to make it more dramatic.
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened to Paige, Les?
Paige was chased by goats on the internet.
Was there more to it? What?
No, that was it.
Did she have like a?
No, that was it.
Did she have a finger bit off or some horrible?
She was like
No?
filming something and went down to pet the goat, and the goat started chasing her, and it went viral.
Well, there must have been more.
Like the world was captivated by goats chasing someone. Yeah, and it's like years later, and she gets recognized for being chased by a goat.
Jesus.
And I don't know about you, Jason, but I thought that there was going to be like more to the story, like the goat like bit her skirt and ate her skirt, and so her skirt fell off or something.
Something like more embarrassing than like a goat chased me.
Because I thought it was going to be like the goat chased her, got her skirt, ripped her skirt off, and started eating it, and she was on camera in her underwear.
They would not show that on Hallmark. Oh my God, she's not a whore.
No, but
in Hallmark terms.
But no, because she'd be wearing granny panties.
They would never show panties in a Hallmark movie. Are you kidding me?
What? She's not going to wear any panties in this
No,
scene?
she's going to wear panties. They're not going to show them. They're not going to show anything above the knee. Are you kidding me? Have you watched a Hallmark movie?
But what they could do is they would have it like off camera, so you'd hear the rip of the skirt, and then you'd see like the people wincing.
They wince when they see. Okay.
It's Hallmark. They'd wince if they saw like a woman in underwear.
Oh, she's wearing underwear.
Oh, please. For that, like the show would like spontaneously combust.
That would make it a viral video, though.
That would make it a viral video. Those things would possibly make it a viral video. Just like, you're running from a goat? Not a viral video.
Right.
Nah.
It's barely a video.
Oh, please, in a Hallmark movie, if her underwear came off, she turned to salt. The person looking would turn to salt.
Who did that in the Bible? Was it Lot's wife who turned into salt? I think so.
Yes.
And Lot's wife.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they're like, don't get to step in, don't turn around. And they kept on saying, get to step in, don't turn around. And what did she do? She turned around. So there you have it.
Good on me. I know that Bible reference. I know Crocodile Dundee.
When God tells you not to turn, so when God tells you not to turn your ass around, you listen.
Yeah, well, practical advice: avoid goats. Yeah, it's very strange, isn't it?
So Ben is like laughing at this goat thing, and Ben actually wants to tease her about it, but Luis is like, "Don't do it, don't do it." Mm. And Ben just keeps on watching it on like a loop. And then Ben and Paige bump into each other, and he's like, "Oh, well, what did you do last night?" And she's like, "Oh, I watched a movie about Muhammad Ali." And Ben is like, "Oh, the original GOAT."
The greatest of all time. Goat joke.
Right.
And
then Paige kind of looked at him.
I think that's an LL Cool J reference too. Didn't he have an album, Goat? I think he did.
Yeah.
He was the greatest of all time too.
Yeah.
And then Paige looks at him like, but he played it up.
Why would she be surprised that somebody saw the video? She knows, like, in their world, like 500,000 people have seen this.
I don't think she's surprised. I think she's like horrified that he's bringing it up.
Oh, okay.
Or what she thinks.
Because supposedly it's like the Hallmark universe's version of YouTube. So basically everybody's seen it.
This is the Hallmark universe's version of having a sex tape that people have seen.
Right.
That's what it should have been.
Right, because if this was Lifetime, the tape, they'd be like going at it.
She had a sex tape with Todd Harper, and it got out.
Right. So then Millie tells Ben and Paige that we're going to do an episode a day. And Ben's getting ready to act up, but Luis keeps on like reining him in. And then they were doing a scene, and Ben, like they were given lines. Ben doesn't like to learn lines. He likes to improvise. But Paige is like, nope, we are sticking to the script. And then Ben tells Paige, well, listen, you're no fun. Do you have something against fun? You need to try it. And so they tried to like do it off the cuff, but it didn't work.
This infuriated me a little bit because I've done a lot of on-camera hosting. They're both bad at their job because you, as a host, you need to have a skill set to be able to read the copy, but also to be able to turn on a dime and ad-lib. And so the fact that they could each do one of those things, but not both, they neither should have been hosting the show.
Right. So the show was called Our Next Destination, right?
Something like that. It should be called Our Next 2 Hours That You're Never Getting Back.
Right. So then this is something that annoyed me about this movie. Well, one of the things. Okay. So basically, they were filming, and they were filming a scene, like a location a day, but they were very adamant about the fact that it had to be in order, which I thought was dumb because it's like, so don't you film it and then send it to the editor, and the editor kind of turns it into a show?
Yeah. But they may, I guess so. Or maybe they're just shooting an episode at a time, and they had to.
Well, but it wasn't live. It wasn't live. Right. Like I could see if it was live, but it wasn't live, so they could do whatever they wanted with it.
I guess it depends on what the turnaround. Maybe they needed those episodes quickly. No, they never said, so who knows?
So then Paige wants to quit again, and then Millie is like, listen, Paige, you need to chill out. You're being a bitch. Why don't you he's not that bad. Why don't you just try to meet him halfway and get to know him?
Yeah. And
actually, he wasn't a dick or anything. No. Like, he was loud and stuff, but he wasn't a dick. He wasn't mean to her.
No.
I didn't think.
If he was, there'd be some conflict here.
And in fact, she kind of came in hot against him. Like, he didn't know her. She was aware of him, but he didn't know her. And she immediately didn't want him on the show.
Yeah. So she is being a bitch to him, but he's actually being nice to her. And even when she's being a bitch to him, he's just kind of blowing it off, like whatever. So then Millie is giving Paige a pep talk, and Luis is, Ben is going to Luis and is like, oh my God, she's such a bitch. And Luis is like, you need to meet her where she's at as well. So they're both getting the same advice. Like, why don't you get to know each other better?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So before this, I wrote something really crass in my notes before we saw the two pep talks, because I think like after the shoot went disastrously, like Millie and Luis kind of gave each other that look of like, God, these two are going to be a lot of work. They kind of looked at each other, and I wrote in my notes, Luis and Millie should fuck.
Damn.
Well, I thought that's where we were. Going.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But they did seem to have a connection.
Yeah, I thought that's where it was headed, because there's one scene coming up where I totally thought that was where it was headed.
Yeah.
Because
maybe off camera happened.
Because Ben and
along with the panties being shown.
So Ben and Paige talk it out. They decide to get along. Ben is like, so then they're on their break, And this was so dumb because they were on an hour-long break, like 1 hour.
They rent a car.
Right, because Ben's like, let's go see some sights. And then when they showed the next scene, you could tell that it was more than an hour away where they were driving.
Well, it was also like some super bad green screen.
Right. And it was like set in the middle of the jungle somewhere.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gone anywhere if you only have an hour.
Right. But it was one of these, like, you have an hour break and you have to be back you've got to be back on time. And they kept on stressing that. Like, you've got to be back on time. And so then Ben is talking to Paige and he's like, hey, why don't we become friends and stop this bullshit? And let's be friends and get along. And so this is how I knew this was a bad sign. Mm-hmm. They were talking about their parents and everybody's parents were alive.
Do we know they were alive? Because they were talking about, both of them were talking about their parents' jobs in the past tense. Like, my dad was my mom was now it's possible they were retired, but these guys weren't that old. Like, their parents could very much have been pre-retirement age.
You know what? On a Hallmark movie, if they don't say that the person died, it didn't happen.
I think the guy was on the wrong side of 45.
Yeah, he was, and listeners,
said that.
Don't get mad. I am on the wrong side.
So I think all three of us are, aren't we?
I think he was on I'm slightly on the right side of 50, but I think he was around there. I think he's around my age.
So, yeah, he was not like some kid.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, Millie and Luis are like lying in the sun drinking cocktails.
They're luscious.
Yeah.
It was like just drink after drink after drink.
Right. And so this is when I thought that it was going to head in the direction of they were going to totally hook up.
Yeah, then we get it on.
I will say,
because they were drinking.
I noticed something in this movie that I don't think we've ever seen in a Hallmark movie. So Hallmark doesn't they'll allow alcohol in their movies, but it's sort of a passing thing, like they're having wine at dinner or whatever. I think we've only ever seen them drink wine in a Hallmark movie until this one.
Oh, because they were drinking tropical
cocktails, yeah. Like either
they were well lubricated.
I'm assuming they were rum.
Yeah, they were ready.
Yeah,
we're ready to go.
And so then, we find out Ben is Canadian.
Yeah, from Calgary.
Yes.
So they can write his accent into the script, but not one for the guy that's supposed to be Australian. Got it.
Right.
Right.
So then they get lost. And Luis and Millie are like, at this point, they not only get lost, they've been gone way more than an hour.
They got lost? So, was the route so complicated?
There was no route. There was like a main road that Paige wanted to take, and of course Ben's like, no, let's go this other road. I bet that takes us back the other way, and who knows? Like, let's just try it out.
And they got a flat tire. And Millie and so I even wrote here in my notes because Millie and Luis are drinking, and I wrote, I think Luis and Millie are going to hook up. And it didn't happen.
No, it did not. At least not on screen.
And then Paige is mad because they have a flat tire and now they're late.
Yeah, she tells him she hates it when he says, I remember one time. She hates that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he brings up the goats.
Yes.
She doesn't like that either.
And she storms off.
Mm-hmm.
She's pissed.
And then we find out that the goat thing has ruined her life.
Well, I felt bad for her because she said people will walk up to her and just scream. And that's got to be kind of scary.
like bah.
But that sounds terrifying to me. I wouldn't want people just walking up to me and screaming.
Well, but you know what though? It's not like they're saying you dumb idiot. They're going bah. So it's like you look at them and you're like, you're an ass, and you look dumb. Bang.
I don't want to be call it. I don't want to be caught off guard and somebody bang at me. I hope that I'm not encouraging people to do that to me.
Well, I mean, I didn't think that until right now, but now that's all I can think, Kurt.
And Ben is like, and Ben is like, oh, come on, it wasn't that bad. And it was, she says she was traumatized, and that drove her off screen forever. She said she became a producer after that.
So what you're saying is, for this movie to end faster, we should just chase both of them with goats?
Yeah. And have the goat like rip off her dress and eat it.
That's not what happened. If only something exciting happened.
By the way, to all communication students out there, if you'd like to become a producer, this is how you do it. Appear on camera, have goats chase you for a bit, and you can become a producer.
It's the funny thing is, if this was a Lifetime movie, the goat would have bitten off her dress.
Damn.
She'd have like a bikini underneath. And then water would like somehow like come from somewhere and splash her, and she'd be like all wet and shaking her hair.
See, if Paige were smart and the whatever show she worked for at the time were smart, they would have put that goat on all kinds of merch and made a shit ton of money.
Right. And given it a catchphrase and stuff.
Yeah, and then and then it's got like its own cartoon.
Yeah. And the catchphrase.
Because go ahead. What's the catchphrase?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I just said
catchphrase.
Go ahead. I can say it.
No, the catchphrase would have been "bad, bad, bitch."
I was gonna say there haven't been any goats that have broken through. I can't think of a famous goat. That could have been the first one.
Right. Maybe. Wasn't there a goat on Popeye that used to eat cans?
Well, except for that phenomenon, there just haven't been any that have broken through. No, but there was Jeep on Popeye, the little creature that go Jeep, 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 Jeep.
I remember, but remember that though, like on Popeye and like Bugs Bunny, and like they'd always show a goat, and the goat would always be like eating tin cans.
Yeah. Probably. Well, they would basically eat the food from the can, but they would like they'd be able to bite through the can to get to the food. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it would just kind of like, they basically chomp down and all the food would like shoot out the sides and it would land in their mouth.
I'm looking up famous goats. There's Pan. Yes. Pan is the Greek and Roman god of nature.
But he's not a goat.
No, wait. It says Pan, the Greek and Roman god of nature, looked a great deal like a goat. Shut up. All right.
But he only had goat feet.
Well, I don't even know what that is, but just said they look like a goat.
Just because of all the weird sexual fetishes out there, I'm worried if I started searching for goat stuff online right now, like what I would see.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's a goat. The Chronicles of Narnia has a famous goat.
But he's not Mr. Tumnus isn't a goat either. He's not a goat.
These are goat imposters.
He has goat legs.
Look, everybody's simmered down here. All right, let's see. Taylor Swift got into the goat action. Our own Jason Bowers, he knows her. And Mean, there's a video called Mean. Apparently, there's a goat in it.
Yeah.
Harry Potter's got a goat. All right, that's enough of that.
I think
Harry Potter has a goat. When did Harry Potter?
No, I got to go back to the page. Let's see. Even Harry Potter can't resist a great goat. There's Aberforth Dumbledore is said to look like a goat.
See, that's not a real goat. That's another goat imposter. Well, what is this page you're on?
That's false advertising.
It's my website, kurtfitzpatrick.com. No, it's called hypeable.com. And this article is called Goats on Film and Television. They're more than an animal. So.
Did somebody actually get paid to write a rundown of famous goats and none of them are actually goats? What the hell?
Can I give the name? Can I give the name of the author?
Fake goat.
Yeah, give a byline. Please. Go ahead.
Katie Awad. So she's the
Listen, Katie. Listen, Katie. There was not one real goat. They're all fake goats in your article.
Yeah, Katie, we need to have you on A Lifetime of Hallmark to explain yourself.
Yes, Katie, come on the show. Get it together.
I could probably make that happen.
Please do, Kurt. Katie's got some explaining to do.
Hear that, Katie? Boy. Yeah. This is going to get back to her. They're talking about you on this podcast. Really?
Well, I'm very upset because I was all ready to hear about like a famous goat, and there were no goats in this article.
Really, I'm the one that let you down. I was trying to do some research there. All right.
I have noticed something in the past, because the past few weeks we haven't liked the movies that we've watched, or the past few episodes. And I've noticed something that we've always done, but I've just now taken note that the more we dislike the movie, the longer the tangents run because we don't want to talk about the movie.
No, I hate this movie, and we usually save it to the end, but it's just too much.
I didn't hate it.
I don't like it. These people have no chemistry. What happens is the movie goes on. They never get chemistry as far as I'm concerned, but they just seem a little happier.
Yeah.
But they still don't connect it well at all.
No.
Right.
And I just kind of feel they seem like lost, sad people to me.
Well,
I don't think things are going well for these people.
Paige was miserable until like the last 20 minutes.
You know who were happy were Millie and Louise, because they were getting slizzard on the beach there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Millie and Louise were having a great time.
I would love a movie with them. I would totally watch them in a movie.
Yeah.
Like just them.
Yeah. Oh, no. So okay. So Paige is telling Ben about how she pitched a show, and that's why she's doing this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have no phone reception because they're in the middle of Hawaii. And then they get some guy to give them a ride back into town. And as they're waiting for him, they're eating pineapples.
Yeah.
And then they come up with a bright idea for a scene, for a segment. Maybe we go snorkeling. Woo!
So as not just the host of the show, but as a producer, why the fuck didn't Paige think of that before they got to fucking Hawaii?
Right?
You should be the
only in
producer.
Hawaii.
I'm just angry. It's lazy writing. Hate stuff like this.
But I want you as the producer of the show. Like they run up and say, we might go snorkeling. Why the fuck didn't you think of that before?
Right?
I was a little keyed up about that, wasn't I? Yeah.
Yeah, but that would have kept these people on.
I had opinions.
So we find out that Ben wants this job because it's his shot at redemption.
Wow, that's heavy.
Because we find out then, why did he leave the job in the first place? Redemption. And I was ready for some scandalous reason. Well, it was not.
What was it? What was the reason?
He left because things were always planned.
Oh.
That's why he left.
All right.
That's why he left.
Things are always planned.
Does he not know that television is a medium that a show has a finite amount of time they can squeeze into the show, and they need to map it out so they can get those commercials in that pay his salary? Does he not know how that works?
Well, I think what he was doing before, wasn't he doing like YouTube videos and.
Well, that's what he's been doing since he left the show before.
Yeah.
Right. It isn't that why it's called a director?
Yep, and an editor.
Call me crazy, but okay.
You're crazy.
So then Paige gets splashed with water, and she's not happy about it. But then they start snorkeling, and then she finds herself having a little fun. And then that night, Paige apologizes to Ben for being a bitch.
I'm sorry you're a bitch.
And then Ben apologizes to Paige for pushing her button.
I'm sorry you're a bitch too.
Right? And then Ben tells Paige that he'll be more respectful. And then they give each other the Hallmark look. And it's like, okay, here we go. Apologies like got them horny.
I thought he was respectful.
Apologies got them horny.
So then there's a montage and they're working together and they're happy.
Mm.
And then
is that when they're on the Sunset Cruise that Ben didn't want to do? He's like, I don't want to film us on a sunset cruise. It's like, again, you're hosting a travel show about Hawaii. Like, it would be rude if you weren't on a sunset cruise at some point while you're there.
Right. He sounds like he just wants to be on vacation. Like he doesn't. It'd be better for him if he wasn't working.
Yeah.
Right. So then they bump into someone. Oh, they bump into fans of like Ben, and one of the fans thinks that they're a couple. And they're like, "Oh no, we could be a couple. We hate each other." And so then
that may need to be isolated.
So then Ben tells Paige a story, and this is when I was kind of like, "Fuck you, movie," because it's finally like, Ben, why are you the way that you are? So I'm ready for this story.
All right.
Here was the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had a girlfriend. Here's the story why Ben is a fuck up. So this is basically his origin story, like his Batman.
This is his Godfather Part 2.
Right. So he had this girlfriend, and he thought that she was going to be the one. And so he followed all of the rules, and she broke up with him because he followed all the rules.
Now,
and that
this guy is on TV, right? So he'd probably have a lot of problem. It's very difficult to meet women. Very difficult. Okay.
And that turned him into a life of not learning lines.
All right.
And that's the thing. He was not a bad looking guy at all.
No.
And he had swagger. Like he could like talk he could talk a good game.
There's plenty of women who'd be into him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he was not ugly at all.
Was this? I forget when this happened, but was this at the trivia game? Are we at that point yet?
Let's get there.
Okay.
Was it an 80s trivia? Was it?
Yeah.
That was going on? Yeah.
Oh, because we get to the part Millie is like very excited because the network is loving them together. And then Millie wants Paige to continue on. And then Paige is like, nope, I told you I'm only doing one season. And that is it.
Yeah.
And then, then there's this one, but before we go to the trivia game, they're going to go to dinner somewhere. And Ben is talking to this guy that's like super duper hot, like hot.
Yeah, this muscle bound guy.
Yeah.
Like hot. Like for a split second, I was like, oh, well, if he's in the rest of the movie, okay, now we've got a game going. This is good. But he was not.
No. One line.
Because he was unbelievably hot, the guy. So then they go out to dinner for Hawaiian comfort food.
Yeah, the restaurant looked very touristy. Like they were kind of saying it was like this local hole in the wall kind of place.
Oh, that one I felt that looked more hole in the wall than I expected. Actually,
oh, you did? Okay.
I thought that looked more organically off the beaten path a little bit.
So then the next day is their day off. And at first, Paige is doing work on her day off. And Ben is like, well, I'm going to go have fun. And so then Paige decides, like, okay, I've never done this before, but I'm going to take a day off. And Millie's looking at her like, you asshole, just go. Mm-hmm. And so then then Ben is telling her, come on, Paige, relaxing is like a muscle. You got to do it.
I believe he says that they've got to exercise the fun muscle.
Yes.
That was a phrase that was uttered.
And that's how they end up at the 80s trivia contest.
Can we, this genuinely makes me angry. Can we fucking stop with the fucking trivia contests in a movie? It is not enjoyable to watch as an audience of the movie.
Right.
It doesn't tell you anything new about the characters. It doesn't look like something, I'm missing out on doing that fun thing they're doing on screen. It looks stupid in a movie. Fucking stop, Hallmark.
And P.S. If let me give you a tip, Hallmark. If you insist on doing a trivia contest, the way the trivia contest scene would work is, since they don't really know each other that well, they would do the trivia contest and end up knowing all of the stuff about each other.
Yes, but don't do it, because you don't need a fucking trivia contest in a movie.
No, I have a specific criticism. It's the Olivia Newton-John, who knew she was going to get a second name check on the show, but here she is. The song is called Physical, not Let's Get Physical.
I'm aware of that.
Well, they said the song was called Let's Get Physical. It's physical.
Do you know Olivia Newton-John was on RuPaul's Drag Race?
Yeah, those are the lyrics, but it's called Physical. Was she?
I did not know that, because I do not watch the show.
Because there's all these different. Well, okay, so Jason, you'd hate this, because that there's all these different RuPaul's Drag Races. Mm-hmm. So I'm currently watching RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under.
Oh, well,
actually, it's done now. But Olivia was she's Dame Olivia Newton-John, actually.
Okay.
Really?
So Dame Olivia Newton-John was a guest on RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under. And now I'm watching RuPaul's Drag Race España.
Is RuPaul on? Is she on the Australian show?
She's on some of them, right?
Or he?
So RuPaul is on. So RuPaul is on Drag Race UK, Drag Race Down Under.
Really?
And the
Spanish one too?
U.S. Drag Race. No, there's a different drag queen for Drag Race España.
Okay.
There's a different drag queen for Drag Race Holland. And there's a different one for Drag Race Thailand.
Okay. And you watch all these?
Yes. I subscribe to the WoW Network, World of Wonder.
And you get all these different versions. Okay.
Yes. Oh, and on Paramount Plus, it's RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars, which just started last night. Start your engines.
I'm good.
No. And may the best drag queen win.
I'm glad some people find enjoyment in watching that show. I would not.
No. I'm too busy watching Homeland. Boy, that show Homeland, that's got to be the polar opposite of RuPaul's Drag Race. So they win this horrible trivia contest.
Yeah.
But then someone humiliates her. Someone humiliates her about the goat, which is rude.
Yeah, because guys like, aren't you goat lady? Or what do you call? Yeah, didn't you say, aren't you the goat lady?
Yeah. I felt bad for her.
She acted like Carrie after Carrie got the bucket of blood spilled on her at the prom.
Really? She started using her powers and the door slammed and started setting people on fire.
Well, you would have thought that that's what happened to her the way she was acting.
And then she went home and started getting knives being thrown at Piper Laurie. It's awesome.
Right. They're gonna laugh at you.
I just watched an interview with PJ Souls too, so it's interesting you just brought up Carrie.
Oh, okay. So get this. Okay, yeah. So this is why she turned. This is why the internet made her turn to a life behind the camera.
Could we stop talking about this movie and just talk about Carrie for the rest of
right?
I've never seen it, but I'd rather talk about it.
You've never seen Carrie?
I have not.
Okay, so Jason,
you'd love Carrie.
You would love Carrie, Jason.
You would love Carrie.
All right.
Do you know who I met?
Carrie?
Do you know who I met from Carrie? I met Nancy Allen.
Oh, Nancy Allen. Yeah.
I met Nancy Allen, and she still looks the same. Like, she looks great. She looks the same. Anyway, Jason, you'd like Carrie.
I'd like to get through this slog of a movie, too.
You got young Amy Irving in that movie, and man. You got, she goes to prom.
John Travolta.
She goes to prom but she goes to prom with the greatest American hero, William Catt.
William Catt. Yeah, William Catt was a stud, supposedly.
Let's pause the show and you can watch it now.
No, I'm good.
No, that's okay.
Remember when a few weeks ago on Facebook when I pointed out that there was once a time in history where people were horny for William Catt? And then I forget what we were saying on our text thread, but Les texted me and he said, "What is Connie Selica's net worth?" Like totally out of the blue asked me that.
We were talking about that. We get into net worths sometimes.
Well, I mean, because thinking of William Catt made me think of the greatest American hero and Connie Selica.
No, absolutely. I only found it funny because I'm like, why would you ask me very matter-of-factly as if that is a fact that I would have at my fingertips? Oh, Connie Selica, she's worth $3.7 million. Like, how would I know?
Well, you never know.
You look it up.
You never know.
We've looked it up on this show already.
I know we did. Here we are again.
Jason, I don't know your pop culture knowledge. So
fair.
This says she's worth $500,000. Oh my God, poor Connie.
Which is this is the same realization. We
is this a different Connie Selica?
We think that's wrong because she's married to John Tesh, who's got to be worth a lot.
She's married to John Tesh.
Yeah,
it's not worth $500,000. That's awful.
And because John Tesh has that music career of his.
And he hosts a radio show for many years now.
There's another show saying she's worth $600,000. Boy, hey Connie, you better get on. You better fix this. You better be worth more than that.
Well, we'll look up John Tesh.
All right.
We're repeating an old show here. Let's just move on with this terrible movie.
Yeah, but people don't know where to find that. He's worth $30 million.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Remember,
she's got more.
California's a community property state.
Well, they're also still married.
So she's worth half of that.
Yeah.
They're still married.
Right?
Right. But remember, even if that were to change, half of that $30 million is hers.
I find this sexist that they say he's worth 30 and she's worth $500,000. Maybe she's worth $500 million now.
So this is what she did.
Okay.
So this is what Paige did. So after Paige ran from the goats, she left the gate open. And so the goats went out there and ate everything. And so she said, and I quote, "We got sued. People lost their jobs. And it was all because I didn't stick with the plan." And so that's,
life's not that black and white.
And then Ben was like, so then Ben is like, "Do you want to know why I got fired?" But then doesn't tell her.
No, he left. He left Next Destination back when things ended with this serious girlfriend. Basically, at that point, so we find out that Ben has a past with a woman. Things ended, and like he was basically like sad about it, and wanted to like move on. And then Ben goes in for a kiss, and Paige self-cockblocks.
Yeah. So then the next scene, I know they're filming in the next scene. Ben is wearing a cute Hawaiian shirt that I would look very good in. And I wrote in my notes, I would look great in that shirt.
Like you're shopping.
And I need to, well, that's what this movie drove me to, thinking about Amazon. And P.S., while I was watching this movie, I computer shopped. And I'm talking to you on my purchase. So thanks. You had to be at Aloha.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
So then Luis is like, oh, so I see you like her. And then Ben is like, well, she told me some personal things. Like being chased by a goat is so personal. And so then that night they go out and they go to like a hula show.
Yeah.
And then they have dance lessons and they do very well. And Paige is like, oh my gosh, I had the best time. No one recognized me and bad at me. So
Millie volunteers them, which I thought was rude. Then they get up and like they move their hips. They kind of dance with the luau people, and he smiles weird.
I will say, if they were just all there as friends and nothing else, and Millie volunteered them, that would be rude. They're there to work, to film segments about all of these activities that they're doing. So Millie was trying to get some footage of them up there dancing because it's for the show. So Millie was doing her job.
Oh,
and
okay.
didn't you want one of them to, like, when they were doing the hula dance, to get their back stuck like Alice on the Brady Bunch when they went to Hawaii?
Aw.
You have to elaborate on that.
Tiki episode.
Okay, no, wait. You don't remember when they had the little idol?
It was a three-parter, Kurt. A three-parter.
Vincent Price, and the boys were like locked in a cave. Yeah. Vincent Price.
And they had the idol.
Vincent Price held the boys hostage. Yeah. Is that what's going on?
They had the idol, and every time the idol would do something, it would go.
And what happened to Alice? She hurt her back. She was
hula dancing, and her back got stuck.
Yeah,
her back got stuck.
Like she threw it out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And like Greg almost died surfing.
Yeah.
This was a very serious. Yeah, yeah. I do remember.
That was a to be continued.
Oh boy!
Again, that was a to be continued when Greg almost drowned.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
and they were all kidnapped, right?
Yeah, you're right. By Vincent Price.
Vincent Price was holding the boys hostage. How did they escape from Vincent Price?
I don't remember.
Oh, well,
we're gonna have to go watch it. We should watch that for next week's movie.
And let's watch it. Let's pause and watch Carrie and that.
Wait, how did they escape? What did they do? Like the Thriller dance? Because remember, Vincent Price was the voice on Thriller.
He was.
No, this is before that. Yeah. He was also in Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, okay.
And Dead Heat with Joe Piscopo.
Oh, you watched? Oh,
I've watched all sorts of crap.
Oh, so then this next part was really dumb. So Ben finally makes a move, and he goes in to kiss her, and she's like, listen, Hawaii's a bubble. And I was like, wait, what do you mean by that?
That would encourage that would encourage some action.
Right. And she's like, well, when we leave and I go back to New York, then this is going to be done.
She doesn't want to catch feelings. I get
that.
While
you're there.
Right. And then
he was blue-balled.
They're doing another. He was blue-balled. So then they're doing like a what do they call it? A UTV?
Yeah, they made a big deal out of it's not ATVing, it's actually UTVing. What everyone says is ATVing is usually UTVing.
And that warranted a montage.
Yeah, set to a flock of seagulls. They paid some money for that.
I ran so far away.
And so then Ben is like, listen, we're ending. Paige, you should really stay and do another season of the show. And then Millie, so then later Paige is like, okay, Paige, being a weirdo. And then Paige is like, well, you know what? Maybe I'll continue with the show. And then Millie is like, it's too late, dummy. You said that you didn't want to do it.
Yeah, you dummy.
So I told the network you didn't want to do it.
Huh?
And then he's back.
William
Todd.
Wow.
Todd. With a bad accent. Because Todd ends up seeing footage of Paige and Ben, and he wants to do the show. But not with Ben, with Paige. And so then
what?
I guess
Todd is like,
I'm sorry. I just started looking up the very excellent Mr. Dundee again. I saw I could see it for free.
No.
All right. Sorry about that.
Should we pause the podcast, Kurt, so you could go do that?
a gasp, an audible gasp.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
Man, too bad it's too late. All right, okay. Where are we at?
So then Todd wants his job back. Ben is pissed. Paige all of a sudden is improving her ass off and not following a script and flying by the seat of her pants because she's a changed woman. And then Ben is done because Todd wants his job back. So Ben leaves, and he's going to where? Australia, right?
Yeah. I think it's absurd, by the way. And I get that we're in the confines of a Hallmark movie, but I think it's absurd that the network didn't want to pay Todd what he wanted. But yet they're still in negotiations with him to bring him back. And they bring him to the set of the final day of filming with the people he's replacing. It was the dickiest move on the network's part.
It really was.
Right.
And this guy, Todd Harper, didn't seem to care. He's like, oh, anyway. Because I'd be uncomfortable if I were him.
Yeah. Hey, I'm taking your job. Bye.
Right.
Man.
So then Ben's heading to Australia with Luis. And then Paige is talking to Millie. And Paige is like, you know what, Millie? I quit. And then Millie yells at her and then gives her Todd's info.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it says, hey, he's at the airport with Luis.
Not Todd's info, Ben's info. She gives her Ben's info.
Yeah. No, this is weird. This is only the second time that Millie mentioned this. She mentioned this early on, but something about having feelings. Like she said, she makes a point earlier.
HR.
Yeah, well, she says, I don't have any feelings. And then at this point, she goes back to, I have feelings. But that's it. That's all. Right. That's all we get into.
It was probably an earlier version of the script where Millie was a bit meaner or at least more direct, and they probably softened her edges to the point of making her character boring.
Right.
Yeah. She's cracked open now. She has feelings.
Well, Paige ran to the airport to go and get on Ben's flight.
That's not what I thought you were going to say in that sentence.
No.
She ran to the airport to get on Ben's, and there was a pause, and I was like, where's this going, Les?
So she goes to the airport, but it was too late. The plane was gone. It was on its way to Australia. So Paige goes back. She's walking on the beach. She's sad. She's crying. And then all of a sudden, Ben shows up and she says, I don't have a job and I don't have a plan. And then they kiss. And then the next scene, they had their own show. They had a show together.
Yeah, like on YouTube where they're making like 0.03 cents a view.
But they were together.
But her videos go viral apparently, so that might be the more lucrative way.
That adds up. Bad.
That was it.
Very irresponsible movie saying that they don't have a plan. Because I've known people who they get out there, they don't have a plan, and they wish they did.
Quit your job. You regret it.
I've seen people like, I'm just going to leap, and they have no plan, and it's trouble. It might take them like a couple years to get their act together.
Yep.
So I think it's good to have a plan.
Yep. Well, what can I say?
Here we are. You had me at Aloha.
Oh, we're all speechless.
Well, doesn't aloha mean hello and goodbye? So yeah, you had me at goodbye.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Look at the recommendations here,
next
though.
week.
Yeah. I was going to say,
at least next week. Yeah, Carrie. What else? I
didn't see the Dundee movie yet, but people are aware of it.
The 3-part Brady Bunch episode.
After we hang out.
It's too late. But we recommended the Brady Bunch Hawaii with Vincent Price.
Vincent Price.
People have a whole thing to do. The full week ahead of them.
Right? So you could watch the Crocodile Dundee movie tomorrow. And Kurt, it's only 8 something. I could go and watch that movie right now.
Are you gonna watch it?
It's only 8:09. I can go watch the movie right now.
It says it's free on Tubi.
Okay.
Oh.
It says you can watch it free on Tubi.
Okay.
I'm not recommending the movie. I have not seen it. It might be the worst movie ever, but I'm just saying that I want to see it. I have a desire.
I do not.
Very excellent, Mr. Dundee.
I do not.
What's that?
I do not have a desire to see it.
I have a desire, and I can't explain my desires.
Even if I were a judge in a case involving this movie and that were part of my work to watch this movie, like the judge in the Kardashians case, I would still not want to watch it.
I'm going to go through 3 years of law school and pass the bar exam so that I can be involved in a case where I have to watch this movie.
Done.
I like that.
You know what, though?
It's only an hour and 28 minutes, too, that movie. Wait, what? Low commitment?
Oh, gee.
This is great. I can't wait.
Well, this movie was like an hour and 20 minutes, and look what that got us.
Yep.
Well, you know what, though? Next week, I'm not going to say the movie because I don't want to jinx us. But you guys know the movie, and it's going to be a palate cleanser. It's going to get us back on track.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Wow, we better wrap up. I got to start studying for the bar. All right, no, sorry. What's that?
This next movie, without jinxing it, you guys know what the movie is. It's going to get us back on track.
We did lay some breadcrumbs in this episode about what the movie could be.
Yeah. So that I think that and a wrong movie, and we'll be back to normal.
Let's hope.
Yeah, I need to get back to normal.
Anywho, if you want to find me, you can find me on Facebook at Crocodile Barrett Presentations, or you can find me on my website, lescrocodilebarrett.com, or you can find me on Instagram at Kirkendall. Jason.
You can find us all on Instagram at Lifetime of Hallmark Podcast. Also, wherever you listen to us, be it Spotify or iHeartRadio or Apple or wherever you get your podcast, please give us a 5-star review. It helps more people find the show. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Big Shot Jason. Kurt.
I just found a review for the very excellent Mr. Dundee. It's 1 star. It says, I hardly know where to start. I hardly know where to start. The very excellent Mr. Dundee isn't. The occasional chuckle does not make up for abominable acting, dreadful directing, and the script so paper thin that blowing your nose on it makes more sense. Damn.
Oh, damn. Wow. Someone's very angry about this movie.
Yeah, I got nothing to promote. I'll have stuff in the future.
Okay,
that's all I got.
Well, Kurt's like, watch the Mr. Dundee.
I'm going to watch it.
Oh, one more thing. I'm allowed to tell people now. Okay. So if you are in Los Angeles, I am in a show called Clue Live, and it is based on the board game Clue. And it is at the Westfield Century City Mall in Century City for the month of July, and in Topanga at the Westfield in the month of August. And tickets are already on sale.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
You could Google Clue Live, and that'll lead you to the website. And if you do come from the show, you got to say hi. I'll be playing Mr. Green, by the way.
Okay. It's an interactive show, right?
Yeah, it's an interactive show. And so I guess basically, it was a situation where they decided to do the show, but to kind of roll with the punches and do it outdoors. So it's going to be totally outdoors.
That's really cool.
And COVID compliant.
Yeah.
COVID compliant.
Cool.
And that is it. I don't know. See, now maybe I should go and watch that movie, Kurt.
What, the Dundee one? No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm curious.
And
don't blame me.
Next week. All right. Yeah. Don't blame Kurt. And everybody else. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.